on this computer. Great. Well, today I'm going to talk about 1 or 2 lesson plans on the website, which are new on our course site. And also Josie has an activity that she's going to try and run online. And she's going to do that a little bit later. So I hope everybody is very well. And before I really launch into it and start gabbling away, are there any issues or questions that people have, things that they would like to ask about in particular that you've come about today?
No, but I did try the somebody swallowed Stanley lesson in my grade 4 class.
Oh,
great.
Yeah.
So that's from our last meeting. Yeah. And how
I had such fun doing that last time together. So I decided to do it with my students. We're starting a play, but we had sort of a couple of classes before we start the play. So I thought, oh, I'm going to do that. So anyway, we had a blast. They really enjoyed it.
Oh, good. And this was in a face-to-face setting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah,
so
we actually on March 21st, we actually have no more masks in Canada.
Wow.
So it's a little bit scary.
We've gone back to lockdown.
Yeah.
I know.
China,
it's
I
quite
think,
the roller coaster.
China's on lockdown again, I think, isn't it? In some places. Yeah, we've got the same here. We don't have to wear masks anymore, but a lot of people still are.
Well, I suspect that's what will happen. But it will be interesting in a drama setting to see the comfort level, because we're kind of in each other's faces.
Yeah.
So, it will be interesting to see, I may offer to the kids that if they want to just wear the masks in drama class, that's fine. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
I teach sports as well, so it will be interesting to see what they decide to do.
Well, I guess if you're outdoor sports, then it's a lot easier for them.
Yes, it's still -10 here.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
no outdoor sports then. No outdoor.
Well, we do take them outdoors, but I'm actually taking my kids to the ski hill this afternoon. So
okay,
it's still very much winter here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we've got a lovely sunny day here in Norwich. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. We've lost
Ivana's disappeared.
Yeah, we lost Eva, but I imagine she's just lost connection, so hopefully she'll be back in a minute. Right. Yeah. So yeah, just to show you that I've put some new lessons in the course written by other teachers. So one new one, it's actually an old one, but it's one that I've had for a while and I haven't uploaded. And it's called The Forest. And it's actually written by a teacher of French. So those who are bilingual might be interested in that. As you can see, there's a book called Le Petit Guide des Arbres. But it's actually written in English, so you can understand it and teach it in English. And she suggests some French books, but I've also suggested some alternative, up the top here. Yeah, some alternative English books that people could use if they prefer.
Cheers.
Right. Okay, so that's one of them, and that's all about the forest. And when Canada returns to more normal temperatures, you might be able to teach this lesson, because part of
it would be amazing.
Yeah, part of it is going outdoors. It's for young kids, though. That's the thing. It's for age 5, and it's partly based on Red Riding Hood and partly based on Le Petit Bonhomme de Bois, another little French story, The Little Man of the Woods, and also Petit Renard, the fox. So that there's some ideas. I was just saying, Eva, and welcome back, that this is a lesson that was designed for French pupils, but it can also be done with English or any language, I suppose, if you are bilingual.
Well, that's what I think is really interesting about these language drama lessons, is that they, like for Josie and Jan, who are teaching English, And for me, who's teaching French, it's transferable because it's all second language, right? So it's interesting.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, very much so.
May I just ask something? What age do you teach in Hong Kong? And sorry, girl from Canada. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Oh, okay, Sarah. Yeah.
In Hong Kong, I teach anything really. I'm actually teaching in a school. Yeah, I'm teaching in a school right now, and that's primary, P4 to 6. So that's like 8 to 12-year-olds, 11 or 12-year-olds. But I also teach kindergarten, and I also teach secondary schools because I teach Shakespeare, and I do my own Shakespeare workshops, and they're often for secondary school students. Although I've taught it for 9 years in a primary school, so I can teach that for anybody really. So now I'm being asked to do it for kindergarten.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's why I'm here. In fact, I'm quite new to. Actually, I'm using drama as a teaching tool. There is no. I'm sorry to disturb this, but I just want to give something a little bit of myself and my
Go
experience.
for it.
Yeah, go for it.
And that turns to be a bit challenging here in Zhuhai in China, where I work with very young learners, like 3 to 6 years old. So we often don't have a chance to produce a show, but like just use drama as a tool to teach English.
Yeah.
Right.
But now demand for drama as a product, as a show, is kind of growing in China, but I'm quite confused in which way I can actually conduct that. So that's why I'm here, to see what people think, what people do, and gather some ideas and skills possibly.
Well,
Okay, I
that's,
have one. Sorry.
yeah, I was just going to say that's an interesting issue, because Jan and I had a meeting yesterday, and I was talking about drama as process and drama as product. And
Exactly.
in the early days of educational drama, there used to be kind of two schools of thought. One bunch of teachers who said drama is a process and it's all about the learning and the doing in the moment and the relating to each other. And then there was another bunch of teachers who said, no, we want to put on performances, and it's all about preparing them for theatre performance.
Yeah.
And I think that over the years, those two schools have basically come together, and I think all sorts of drama goes on, and you can design it as you wish. My background is that I was a primary school teacher, so I used to teach all subjects but do a little bit of drama, and it wasn't until I left that I really developed my drama teaching a lot, and I left to set up a theatre company. So my interest was very much in performance, but also running workshops. So I think the drama that I tend to teach is kind of influenced very strongly by theatre. And when I was talking about a session yesterday that I've designed, I think a lot of it is the kids do little bits of performance during the workshop, rather than doing something big at the end. But it all depends on your circumstances and what what you think you want to achieve. If you want to put on a production, then obviously you'll be working on a script, but you could easily also work on other techniques and ideas to develop skills as a workshop while you're preparing for the play. Okay, that's my view. Anybody else want to come back on that?
Yeah, I what I often say, and what Jan and I did, we had like an open lesson, didn't we, Jan?
Yeah, at the end
back
of
in the
the
summer.
session. Yes.
Yeah, we did Harry Potter, and we asked the parents to come to an open session at the end. And we explained that it wasn't like a real performance. It was really showing the parents what we'd been doing in the workshop.
Mm.
And it'd been a 7-day workshop, so it was very long. But the kids were basically performing, but it didn't matter. We didn't want them to worry about it too much. And that's one way of making sure the parents don't expect a polished performance. It might be sort of a performance, but not really. So it's like somewhere in between. And of course, as David says, also, if you're doing a workshop, you can say, well, it happens during the workshop. We do the performances. And if you film it anyway, then you can show the film to the parents afterwards. I started off at school doing it as a live performance, but I found that the kids freaked basically when they didn't realize they were going to do a live performance. I know they were going to do Hamlet, and it was like, you didn't tell us. I said, yes, I did. Okay. Never mind. So yeah, I had to sort of they did it in the end, but I had to basically help them along. And so since then I never did it live, because I thought it's not really fair. You're asking them to do something that's really above them anyway. Shakespeare is really quite hard for them, although they managed it. Severely edited texts, of course, but still then it's still hard, and they're really afraid that they don't say the right things. They're not word perfect, which I don't really require anyway, but that's what they do. And so I said to them, no, we'll just film it. So in the end, I just always filmed it, and it was a better way of doing it, because then you could say, okay, here's the film, you can watch it anytime you like, you can ask me any questions you like, and that just worked much better, I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, great. And maybe while we're breaking out on this little branch, Sarah, Jane and Jan could say something about who they teach. Sarah.
So I'm in a grade 4 to 8. I teach at an independent school, so it's a private school. So our system is a little bit different. Normally in Canada, we go K to 6 and then 7 to 12. But because my school was traditionally a boarding school, it starts in grade 4, because that was the youngest that kids could come as boarders. We don't have boarders in grade 4 anymore, but we used to. So it's grade 4 to 8. Last year, I taught grade 4 to 8 drama, because the drama teacher was on maternity leave, which is how I met David and the rest of these wonderful people. And because I was freaking out at having to teach drama, and now my principal loved what I did. So I'm teaching now the grade 4s and 5s, so like 8, 9, 10-year-olds. And then I also teach French as a second language, so I'm using a lot of the drama in my French classes as well.
Oh, fantastic.
That's lovely, yeah.
Okay, and Jan, tell us about.
Yeah, I teach students aged from 8 to 12, and in most cases I just help them to do extra reading, so which means practice them to recognize words and how to read independently. So in that case, I highly encourage the students to do more reading after school, but it's quite challenging for them to get started with the pure English reading by themselves, so they may need extra techniques. It's quite different from the comprehensive tasks from school, because basically here, if you study English as a subject, you have to do a lot of tasks. So do a lot of paperwork. But what I do with them to use some techniques like story sack. Have you ever heard about it? It's very, very, very popular in the UK, and somehow also I use drama techniques to help them understand the whole story. So really it's just help the kids to use the functional language and try my best to help them understand most of the stories there. And also sometimes I teach adult students, because I also teach ESP. And sometimes they come to me for different purposes. So for example, I have some students who are businesswomen, and they need some basic knowledge in business English. So I would just do the lesson plan and do some teaching based on their own specific needs. So that's mainly what I'm doing here.
That's quite broad. That's great.
Yes.
Eva, before I go on with the lessons, is there anything else you wanted to mention or ask now that you've heard that?
For now, not. I just want to dive in your presentation, really.
That's great. Okay. Well, there you are. And if you manage to come, you know, a few times to these Zoom meetings, you'll get to know everybody a bit more, as we already do. And that's really nice because everybody brings something slightly different. So what I was just thinking of, I wasn't actually going to show you this lesson, but I've kind of given you just a quick, you know, look at it. And it's all up there for you to log into the course and see. I quite liked the way that she had used the, I've forgotten what it's called, mind map. That's right. So she's mind mapped her project, and I rather like that. It makes it quite easy to see what she's trying to achieve and so on. So that's one new one. Then there are several others. Oh yeah, one thing I was going to say about that is that this is an example of a drama. Well, it's not just a drama session because it uses science, and it uses storytelling, and it uses visits to the woods. You know, so it's really nice in that it's actually a combined approach. And that's what I really like to recommend drama to be used as. But I think the great thing about it is that drama can be used in so many different ways. Let's have a look at another one. This is quite a well-known book in the UK, Handa's Surprise, and it's actually based on an African story from Kenya. There's a little video so you can see it's about somebody who sets off on a journey with lots of fruit. I'll just show you a little bit of the story.
Handa put 7 delicious fruits in a basket for her friend Akeo.
I'll just pause it there. Can you hear the sound okay?
Yeah.
Because I think I forgot to press the little sound button when I shared. I won't show you anymore because that just gives you, you know, a sort of flavor of it. And she sets off on this journey, and basically, as she goes on her journey, various animals take bits of fruit from her hat, and it's kind of about what happens through that story. But I quite liked this lesson. Let's have a look, because it uses teacher in role. So let me just go to a different version of this, which is here, so you can see it perhaps a bit more clearly. So teacher in role is really where the teacher just takes on a role, and they don't need to be a great actor. You just need to be able to play the role. And here it's an explorer. And as she says, it's not necessary, but the children love it. And teacher in role is a technique that is used in certain schools in the UK still, but it's not used a lot. However, when I've seen it used in schools, it's really fantastic to see how the kids engage with it. There's also, there's a famous drama teacher who passed away a few years ago called Dorothy Heathcote.
Yeah.
And she came up with an approach which was called mantle of the expert, which I've mentioned before, a mantle like a cloak. And the idea is that the children put on a cloak, an imaginary cloak, and they become experts in whatever it is. And there are a couple of schools in Norwich where I live that use this. I don't know if they still do, but a few years ago they were using this as an approach throughout the whole school. So everybody was using this as a teaching method for anything. So they would, because it was a primary school, they took a theme and then the children came to school, and as far as they knew, they were, you know, going back into the 17th century or whatever it might be. But actually, while they were doing that, they were learning about science, they were learning about history, they were doing art, you know, they were doing all the subjects, but they were doing them through that technique. And Mantle of the Expert is like the teacher encourages the children to take on roles, but often the teacher takes on a role as well. And teacher and role itself is like a kind of just a slice of that approach. So it's where the teacher says, okay, we're going on a journey and I'm going to pretend to be an explorer. And this is my hat. When I put on my hat, then you know, you've got to address me as the explorer. So this lesson is good to look at if you want to find out more about this technique. And it's about the children going on a journey across the world. And what she does, she talks about going on a journey across the sea. The children make a boat out of paper. And so they're all taking part in different activities to get them into the mood. And she gets them to imagine that they're getting on board the boat by placing, she draws a boat and they all put their own drawings in there. They all get on board and they imagine they're putting on their life jackets and so on. So it's very much about rituals, really. And this is often used with teacher in role. There's some kind of ritual where the children, for example, set off on a journey, or it might be that they say, for younger kids, they say a magic word and they turn around 3 times. And that means that they have arrived in the new place, whether it's a magic world or whether it's Kenya, as in this lesson. So, yeah, that's a great little lesson to have a look at. And I won't go through it. Maybe another time I will actually look at that in more detail. But one that I thought I would mention in a little bit more detail before we talk about another activity that Josie is going to share with us is this one. A Midsummer Night's Dream and Social Skills is what I've called it, because it starts off with a whoosh storytelling. And again, let me just download a PDF of this so that I can show it to you more clearly. Yeah. So it starts off with a whoosh storytelling, which is the one that I've written and that is available to download on the website. So it's all about Titania and Oberon and their argument. So the children listen to the story first of all, and then they take part in it as the teacher calls out various objects and characters in the story. They step into the circle and become different people or objects. And then she's actually teaching special needs. So yeah, special, as it says here, the students are aged 12 to 16 with special educational needs. So her aim for this was to actually look at how the events, thoughts and feelings of A Midsummer Night's Dream might translate to real life. So I thought that was really interesting. And I'll sort of just guide you through how she does that. So she uses some slides which make a connection between events, thoughts, feelings and actions. And these are actually included in the lesson plan. So you should be able to see these here. And I'll just kind of scroll through them so that you get an idea of how this works. So these children or students really, because some of them are older, don't always have all the social skills that they need for building relationships. So this is really to help them to do that. And it's getting them to think about events and thoughts that they might have, and how sometimes you need to learn to control your thoughts, and that thoughts trigger feelings. So, you know, that gives you an idea of what we're talking about here in lesson plan. So then she's got these kind of cards. I think they're in there as well. Or I suppose these the cards. There are some cards as well. I think those are further down. There we go. So these cards are given out to different pairs or groups, and that's where she then develops some drama based around these. They select a social skills scenario card from the box, and they are assigned characters. They then do some thought tracking based on those characters, action clip, where they bring a freeze frame to life through improvisation. Yeah, so I think actually that's kind of like the end of the lesson. So it's quite a short little lesson, because I guess for those needs, you don't really want to cram too much in. But in fact, they're doing quite a lot, because they're looking at the Midsummer Night's Dream, and they're also doing their own improvisations based around that. So yeah, any sort of thoughts or questions about that?
I think it's okay to do with English speakers, but if you're doing it with kids that I teach, for instance, I just really couldn't, because their English is really not sufficient to you know, to generate their own sort of thoughts and words.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
well, I think the example can be used though, can't it? Because if you've got simpler stories that are more appropriate for those students, then you might think about how you could look at social skills around those characters and that story. And I just really like that, because you know, it's kind of going from fiction, where there are thoughts and feelings, and then looking at how we deal with those in real life. And I think that could be something, you know, that could be really used in lots of different ways. Okay, so, you know, have a look at that. Where I've put newish lessons in, I've put the word new next to them so that you can find them quite easily. So I won't go through them all, but you can have a look at them when you've got time. And what's quite nice is that people have added their own whoosh stories as well. So that's really nice. So do have a look at that. There's lots of, you know, people are posting resources as well as lesson plans. So we're really kind of developing a vault of ideas here on a range of subjects. Okay.
David, today I had the problem again of not being able to get onto the course.
Okay.
And I know you sent me a link last time and I couldn't find it anywhere. Would you mind posting it in an email or something to us?
Well, I will do that, yeah. And I'll send you the link now as well. So if I go to like the beginning of the course, and then I copy that link there.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not sure, you couldn't see me doing that, but I was just basically pasting or copying, and I'm now going to paste that into the chat. So see if you can click that link. That link should take you directly into the course. And I will also right now send you a little email with that same link.
Okay.
So you'll have it backed up as well.
Oh yes, I've seen.
Yeah, so that is just going out. Link. Does anybody else want this link? Or are you okay in logging in?
I don't know why it does that, because it keeps telling me no courses to share or to show. Really weird.
Sometimes you have to basically log in. That happened.
Yeah,
to
I
me
did.
today.
I logged in.
Yeah.
I logged in, but it told me there wasn't anything to show.
Okay. All right. The other thing that can happen then is something that happens to me quite often. I signed up for a course and I couldn't get onto it. And sometimes you have to clear your browser of all the cookies.
Right. Yeah,
because
maybe
it
I need
kind
to
of
do that.
prevents you from going back in. So that,
Yeah, I think
it's
that's
a
what
bit
maybe.
tedious because it means that you have to then log into websites again when you visit them. But
Yeah.
that usually fixes everything.
Okay, so I go to my browser and then do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're using Chrome, there's 3 little dots on the far right, and you can
Okay.
find out how to do it there. Okay, Josie, yeah. Have you got any
Yeah.
more to say about that? Because I'm going to hand over to you for the activity that you want to try with us.
Anybody else want to say something before I start?
Let's
'Cause
go
you
for
can't
it.
stop me. Okay, all right. So as I said at the beginning, I teach Shakespeare, and in fact I've been asked to do Shakespeare with K3. Fortunately, these kids are from not international school necessarily, but it's a Chinese school, but it's an English medium school, which means that all the kids have to speak English. So their English is a lot better than the ones I teach in my primary school. And so I'm going to do Midsummer Night's Dream over 9 weeks. And I was thinking, to start with, I want to set the scene by making the magic forest with them. And in making the magic forest, I will ask them what kind of creatures live in the forest. So I've got some creatures here, but I'm going to ask you first which creatures you think live in the forest. And I'm going to ask you to put all the windows. So if I see Jan is underneath me, David is on my left, Sarah Jane is on underneath.
Yeah, can I just stop you there?
Yeah.
Because this is something I talked about with Josie at the beginning.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, you can click onto any one of the little videos of people and move it around the screen.
How about I take a screenshot and I'll show you what I mean?
Yeah. Or Josie, if you say, right, top left is Josie. Yeah. Is that what you've got?
No, yeah, top left is you, in fact.
Oh, right. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
So if everybody puts me in the top left, you should be able to grab. It depends whether people are on iPhones and iPads as well, I guess.
And
are
then
you on an iPhone, Eva?
No, I'm not. I'm on a Xiaomi phone.
Sorry?
Okay, but a phone anyway, a phone.
Yeah, so if
can
so
you
they
move
may not
the
all
thing?
be able to do this. So
I cannot move the frame.
Oh, it doesn't matter too much. Don't worry about it. If you can, then great. Otherwise, we'll just
so
make do.
I'm on the left. You're to the right of me. Who's underneath then?
Sarah Jane.
Yeah. And then Jan.
Jan is underneath me, and Ivana is at the bottom.
She came
Means nothing, Ivana.
Okay. Fire away.
You're frozen. Oh no.
She might still be able to hear us.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear us, Ivana? Hello.
No, not at the moment.
Okay, but she can watch the recording. So, because why did I ask you to do that? Because we're going to hold each other's hand or make a circle together, make some kind of shape together. And I want us to be able to touch in inverted commas through the screen, if you see what I mean. Okay, so David, what all you need to do as well is probably mirror your screen. The way to do that is go to your Zoom settings screen and then go to the settings, go to background and filters, and then it says mirror my video, and you press mirror my video, which means that when you raise your right hand, it looks like the same hand on the screen.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah, it's obviously the opposite, but yeah. So if it's not mirrored, you'll see the opposite hand raising, which is very confusing if you're trying to make shapes together.
I've just
Okay.
mirrored mine. I found the setting next to the thing that says stop video. There's a
Yeah.
little arrow.
Yeah, there's a
and
little
it
wheel.
pops up
Yeah.
with video settings. But again,
Yes.
that would be different on iPads or phones.
Yes. Okay, well, if you can't do it, it's not a problem, really. No problem. Okay, so to start with, I'd like you to think what kind of creature might live in a magic wood. It could be, doesn't have to be a creature necessarily, it could be a thing. So if you type in the chat what kind of creature you're thinking of, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. And these are magic creatures, yeah? Yes.
Oh, they
Very
have to be
good, yeah.
magic, not real, you mean?
I don't have, well, I mean, it could be a magic lizard. That's okay. It's fine.
Okay. Well, I've
Magic
changed
in-
my mind. I'm going to be a different animal
Okay.
then.
Okay. Magic owls. Okay. Ivana, good. A dragon. Okay. Okay. Sarah Jane. Good. A raccoon. A magic raccoon. Okay. All right. Okay. So now I want you to think of a gesture that this, or no, sorry, a way that this creature might move. And you can either stand up or you can move with your hands. What am I going to be? Wait. I'm going to be a... Okay, lovely. Very nice. Whoa, nice dragon. Oh, Sarah Jane, I like it. A raccoon. Okay, nice one, a dragon. Okay, Ivana, we can't see you. I could see that you were
can't
doing...
see you too. That's so
Oh
pretty. I'm moving
no,
my
but I could
head.
see a magic owl. Maybe you can make a sound of a magic owl. Very nice. Okay, make a sound, everybody. Very nice. Okay, great. Okay, that's a really nice one. Okay, so we think of these creatures, put them in the back of our minds, but now we're going to do some, I'm doing it a bit in the reverse order, actually. I want us to do a little warm up where we have a circle of these creatures, okay? So we're going to touch each other's hands and make a circle all together. Ivana, you can, oh, you can see us again, yay! Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so other hand, David.
Well, where does the circle? Your circle is your arm is going away from me rather than towards
Is that really how weird? Okay. Okay, let's
So-
try it that way then.
Yeah.
So
So
then,
Okay, so that doesn't work on Zoom. Fine.
I think the problem with doing the mirror is that some people will know how to do it and some won't.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think
Okay.
you're a bit stuck with.
Okay, so make a circle by yourself.
I mean, you could do it because I think even if people are, I don't know whether it would work. No, forget
No,
that.
you can't.
carry
Can
on.
you? You have to have it. You have to have the boxes in the same way. Otherwise, it doesn't. Okay. No worries. Okay, it's not going to work. Don't worry. Okay, it's good that we did it, so we know it
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Well, it probably could with more time and if everybody had the right device.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If everybody had that device,
But
then you
just
could
to say,
play it.
Josie, if you didn't ask people to mirror their video, then everyone would be in the same boat.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Oh, that's a very good point. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay, so we've got our creatures. Okay, now I want us to use our hands, okay? Because we're going to choose, we can use all those creatures, but at the moment, we're going to just use our hands and then become spiders, okay? And then from spiders, once we've got the spiders, we can then try the other creatures as well. Okay, so first of all, I want you to just float your hands.
Is each hand a spider?
No, just any, it doesn't matter at the moment. And
Okay.
shake them, shake them. Shake your hands, yeah? Good. Now stretch them. Stretch and make a fist. Stretch. Make a fist. Stretch. Very good. Okay. And now I want you to pretend to be a spider, and I want you to spider your hands in front of you. Good. Very nice. And then I want you to take your hands and put your spiders on your chest. Ooh, so scary. Up your face. Oh no! What if you're scared of spiders? Oh no! I used to be really scared of spiders. I'm not anymore. Don't know why. Okay, so now I want you to crawl up the spout like Incy Wincy Spider. Very nice. Okay. Okay. Can you crawl on your lap or on your leg? This is the spout, okay? The water spout.
Oh, I see.
Okay, okay, very nice. We've done them on the tummy. It's a bit difficult to do it on the tummy when you're here on Zoom, unless you stand
Yeah.
up, of course. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Although kids might
now-
like it. They like their time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, my thing is actually supposed to be face to face, but if it doesn't work, I'm going to make an alternative lesson plan for Zoom. So I want to see what works and what doesn't
Yeah.
work. Okay, so now I want your own creature, so either unicorn or owl or dragon or raccoon. I want you to use your hands to be that creature and to move around like that creature.
So it's not like
Just
we're
your
the
hands.
creature, but our hands
Yeah,
are.
just your hands. Yes, just your
hands.
hands.
Right.
Very nice. Oh, very nice. Oh, I like the owl as well. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Okay, so now I want you to imagine you're very tiny. You're a very tiny creature. Tiny unicorn, dragon, magic owl, raccoon. Okay. The sun has gone to bed and the moon is high in the sky. And you wake up. And it's time to walk through the forest. And I am going to make a web. Because that's what I do as a spider.
Ooh.
I'm going to catch somebody. Very nice. Okay. Uh-oh. I can hear something buzzing. It's going to touch your ear. Are you scared? Oh no. I like flies. I'm going to eat it. There it is. Oh. What are you going to do? Can you eat it? Can you eat it?
There.
No. Yeah. Oh, I love them. Okay. All right. That's great. Okay. Thank you so much. So slowly creep out of your hole and find your own food. How are you going to find your food? Okay, the dragon. What do you eat, dragon?
People.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm not a person, so that's all right. What about you, raccoon? What are you going to eat?
I'm going to catch a fish.
Okay. What about the magic owl?
I like flowers and leaves.
Ah, now flowers, that's a very good point. Okay. What about Jan, the unicorn?
Yeah, maybe all the animals' dreams.
Green
Okay.
animals.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. The animal's dreams.
Oh,
Excellent.
dreams.
Yeah, she eats dreams. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
you can
What
have
about
my
flowers?
nightmares.
You got surprised by the drift.
Yeah, quite.
Okay, that's really excellent, guys. That's really excellent. So, but we haven't sort of added the magic yet, have we? So I want you to be your creature, but think of something magic you can do. He disappears. Putting a spell on you.
Oh,
Very good. Okay. Yeah, I see. I conquered the dragon there. Okay, very good. Very good. You may relax. Thank you. Okay, so then I got this from this book. Okay, and I got it today, the drama games, and it's in mirror image right now because I'm on in.
no, it actually looks fine.
No, it's correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Does
we
it?
can read
Oh,
that.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here it is as well,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the author,
Yeah.
Catherine Sakes.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't going to get it because it was supposed to arrive 2 weeks ago. It didn't. And so, but anyway, as Jan knows, and probably Vanna as well, things take forever here to arrive, especially with lockdown. So I was telling Amazon it hadn't arrived and all that, because I was asked to write a review, and I said, I can't write a review, I haven't got it yet. So anyway, they were going to send me another one, then today it arrived. So there we go. So I was thinking that might be quite nice. And it goes on to talk about a silent scream. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. And then it goes into Incy Wincy Spider and stuff like that. But I would then take it into the magic flower, of course, because you'd have magic flowers. And I actually have a PowerPoint, but I'm not going to share that with you because it isn't enough time. I can actually give you the PowerPoint. I can share it with David.
Yeah.
Hang on. I can share it with David and he can put it on his
can put it on the
plan.
Facebook page.
Yeah, or on the Facebook
or
page.
email it if people prefer. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can use that. It's very simple actually. It's not very extensive, but it is for very young kids and just showing them some creatures and things that might be in the magic wood. You might be able to use it, Eva. And you could use a whoosh that David has written. I don't know how good the English of your kids is. Is it reasonable?
Not good at all. We are just at the beginning.
Very basic, yeah. Yeah, you have to totally simplify everything. I mean, I've not done this with kids who don't speak that age, who don't speak much.
What I do, as most of our curriculum is based on chants that represents alphabet or phonics. So I just let them guess my action. What am I doing? So there is
you got to keep it really
apple on a tree and this stuff, but I would really like to expand it. And somehow I feel I might ask Chinese teachers to kind of facilitate those lessons I'm having. Right?
Will they come in and do it in Chinese as well? So you have a bilingual lesson?
That's the thing. I feel like at least here in Zhuhai, in this environment where I teach, children actually don't have a chance to experience theater and drama. So there is not city theater that is
they don't know.
From the town, and then parents could take their children to watch the play. There is no such a thing. So it's really like, and somehow it became a fashion, everyone wants to do drama and to teach drama and to learn drama. without actually having these basic English skills. So what
Yeah.
I'm suggesting to my school and to everyone that I work with, it's like introduce it to children first in Chinese language. Let's make a teachers group and let's do a little plays for them and then let them try it. And that is a pretty much bumpy road. So what I'm doing now, I'm applying for a 1-year study for a primary education, as I want to really try and work with primary school students, as I hope their English would be a little bit better, or relocate to international school.
Yeah, it depends very much. Some schools, they're really good, others they're really not. Right.
That's
As we've only got a little bit of time left, I just had an idea to feed back to you about the activity that you just did, which I think is fun. But and I was thinking, if I was doing that activity with say 5-year-olds, and it was actually face to face in a hall or a studio, my favorite thing for that age group is to have a tambourine that I shake. So I just get them to move around, you know. So for example, I shake the tambourine and they have to move and then freeze, you know. And then get them all to move as different animals. So, you know, and they can use their whole bodies as spiders, or now they could be a raccoon, now they could be an owl. They could be
a flower.
They could go on some kind of journey through the forest as well. So
yes, that's a good idea.
I think that it was good, but I was just thinking, if you made it into a little story, you know, so that we woke up, we looked around, and then we heard a strange noise, you know, and we went, maybe we go off, you know, and we go off and look around the forest for the strange noise. And then suddenly you see a colorful object hidden behind the leaves. It looks like a flower, but it's singing.
Okay,
it's actually singing a song, you know, or whatever it might be, so that you start to introduce elements of the Midsummer Night's Dream story. And maybe as they go on their journey as the animal, they see something flying through the trees, but it's not a bird, it's not a plane, and it's not even Superman, but it's a fairy. And suddenly the fairy lands in front of them and makes a big face at them, makes a funny face. Can the children show me what face that fairy is making to them, you know? So that could be good. Puck landing in front of them, because he loved to play tricks. So then they could all do a, you know, whatever funny face they decide that Puck is making. So yeah, I just think having a little story to introduce them.
That's really good. Yes.
Would be nice, because it gives it something to hang on to.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's really good. Yes. Okay. Anyway, I only just arrived, this book only arrived today. So
but I think it's good. And is there anybody else who has experience with that age group who would like to throw in any other thoughts?
Please do.
Or do you all tend to work with older kids, don't you, generally?
Well, I often, like what I do have tambour, and I do a lot of this freeze games,
frames.
and then I ask them to just jump into the animal character or situation, like fire.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
For example, I would just say, what am I saying? But you probably already know that, this kind of stuff.
You gotta keep it
very
simple.
modest,
but
very simple.
we don't know exactly. And the thing is that you've described something that I've never heard of before, because it's your idea about using those techniques. So, you know,
everybody has ideas,
don't
right?
be afraid of not being, you know, of being different or not being different, because I think we're all using these techniques, and we're all kind of like, up against whoever we're teaching, we all have to be creative and invent our own approaches.
Yeah.
What I also experience here with such a young learners, like there is always that shy moment of standing out. They mother performing groups. And also I found that game somewhere, it's called Good Morning, Your Majesty.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
depending on what am I teaching, like I ask them to, I don't know, call it a name of a saint, or it's like a queen, rather than majesty. That can be a bit tricky word for them, in a silly voice. And what I realized that children are really kind of, at least my children here, like they really don't
like
know
it.
how to do silly voice.
No,
And
I'm totally with you there. The kids in my school, I'm often so surprised that, you know, you think you're asking them something simple and it's not simple to them. It's not simple.
I think with kids like that, the teacher has got to demonstrate, you know, what the possibilities
we
are.
always do, but that's why I decided to like learn a bit of Chinese and ask them to do the same thing in Chinese first, and then, you know, try it in English. Because I'm absolutely sure, I'm 100% believe in the fact that children are completely naturally playful. And they do in everyday interaction. But when it comes to performing in front of the class in second language, then that becomes somehow tricky. But then doing it, insisting on it in a playful way, it actually gives results. So I'm loving it.
I always think that with the very young kids, you don't need to worry about them doing work in groups, because they don't have a concept of what a group is. They're only aware of their own self. So, you know, I normally would get them all to do the same thing at the same time. You know, they're all animals, or they're all, you know, whatever it is.
All the same thing, yes.
And then gradually, you know, you could say, oh, could those 5 people over there show me what they were doing? You know, if you see some children doing something that looks nice, you know, we could watch a group of children so they don't feel like they're in the spotlight too much, you know. So you gradually give them confidence. But it takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, our 1 hour is up. So thank you. Very nice to see everybody. We've had a bit of a mixed bag of a session, but I think it's been interesting. It always is, to share experiences and ideas. So, and if you have any requests for sessions, let me know. If there's anything that you would like to know more about, or tell us about, or ask about, then let me know.
Well,
may I just
go on.
Sorry,
Go
Josse,
ahead,
pronounce your name. If you could send that the author of the book, I didn't get the.
I can do that right now. Hang on.
We'll put that in the chat. Catherine Zakest.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And Sarah, did you have something you wanted?
Yeah, I was just going to say that I'm starting this little play with my grade 4s. So we'll have our first rehearsal after the March break. So that'll be on March 28th. But just maybe next time, if you have any advice or sort of how to, this is the first time I've done that. So
yeah.
I'm winging it. So the one of the drama teachers at my school suggested doing sort of ensemble building games before starting each rehearsal, and her other advice was to always rehearse in chronological order, because she said in grade 4 they can get confused if you take the scenes out of order. So she was suggesting that. But anyway, if anyone had any advice next time, that would be a fun thing to discuss.
Yeah, and what play is it or story?
It's called The Not So Mysterious Disappearance of Cinderella. So it's basically a fractured fairy tale. And basically, Cinderella has decided that Prince Charming is off his rocker because he asks her to marry him after the only thing she said is, "My name's Cinderella, but most people call me Cindy." And then he asks to marry her and she thinks he's off his rocker. So she decides to run away, but then all the characters in the fairy tale land are looking for her. So, but it's very funny. Like,
Great.
so the main character is Detective Bob, who has to interview all these crazy characters.
Two questions. One is, what's the age group of the students?
They're in grade 4, so they're 9.
Okay. And the other question is whether you could send me a copy of the script, because then I could have a look at it and come up with some ideas.
That would be great.
Yeah,
Okay.
do that.
All right.
All right
Thank
then.
you.
Okay then. So shall
Okay.
we wind up today's meeting? And thanks very much. Great to see you, Eva. Hope you can come again.
Yes, definitely. Thanks a million. I'm just so happy I found you.
Good.
Yeah, and you're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah, especially if
Yeah,
you're in
not
China.
I know the
Yeah,
feeling.
exactly. Yeah, we all know the feeling.
Yeah.
That's why Jan and I get on so well, because we're both on the same side of the world, and you're
Yes.
on the same side of the world. And
Where
we
are
can
you
just
from?
go,
Yeah.
"Hi."
Yeah.
Me, I'm in mainland China.
Yeah.
In
Learning.
Jiangsu province, so I'm quite close to Shanghai.
Oh, okay. I'm in Zhuhai.
Yeah, like the south part
Not too-
of China.
Yeah, it's quite
Guangdong.
far, isn't it?
Yeah.
But same
Yeah.
time zone. Same
Yeah,
time
but I
zone.
think she is quite close to you, Josie. You
Yeah,
are
she's
close.
closer to me than you. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super,
Okay, we let
super.
David go. He wants to go.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah. All the
Bye.
best then, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye for
Bye.
now.